Okay, good evening. I just got done building this. It's a guitar pedal from AliExpress that has a Centaur on it. Does it look familiar? There's some very expensive pedals that have Centaurs on them, and that's not quite mine. So this is a Centaur overdrive, and we're going to turn it on. I've only heard noise through this just to verify that it works, so you'll be hearing this for the first time with me, and we'll see what we think. Okay, so it sounds like we have way too much gain and output right now. Let's see if I can find something a little bit more reasonable. Okay. Okay, that seems to work. We do have a treble adjustment. We can bring it bright. Let's go all the way to bright. All the way. Or we can make it go all the way away. Go to all dark. Okay, so that works fine. And then our output is our general volume, so just go. Okay, so it seems like this is kind of where you set your unity, and then your gain is over here. Okay, so there's plenty of gain in this. Let's just try it. Let's try it full tilt, but we'll have to cut the output volume down so we don't scare the camera. That sounds a little bit trebly to me, but we'll back that off and try it again. So it seems like we have from very subtle to very brash available here. So let's try it just open again. Let's take that gain down some more. Let's see what the lowest gain gives us. There's the lowest. This guitar's got a lot to give. And I'm noticing a lot more bass response. I can actually hear the amplifier kind of chattering a little bit on what it's sitting on. So it's stacked on other amplifiers. So there it is. It seems to work just fine, and we'll have to look around. You can go find other Centaur pedals, probably recorded professionally, and we'll compare and contrast and see how it sounds. But it works good. Yay. First time too. Stick around if you want to watch the assembly of this thing. It turned out really pretty inside. I like the way this one assembles. As far as putting them together, that's my favorite Ali pedal to put together. Okay, I like a lot of the sounds of the other ones, but that's a fun one to put together. It's nice. The instructions are so I don't like the instructions, but I like putting this together because you can put it in the box because it's a big box and there's less stuffing and finagling and things. So my poor camera. Let's try to back that off just a little bit more and see if we can listen to that again. Okay, that's enough demonstration. I gotta figure out what really sounds good on it, but it's done, and there's your initial sound check. First time I'm hearing it too. Have a great day. Oh, stick around to watch me build it if you want to see it built. Good evening, YouTube. Today we're going to build this thing. This is a overdrive pedal that's based on a very famous overdrive pedal that commands a lot of money in the current market. But this is an interpretation thereof that apparently translates to that. So let's take a look at what we got in the box. And we have maybe one instruction sheet. We got a printed circuit board and some capacitors and some chips and wires, a battery clip and screws and audio jacks that are pretty much what I expected. LED, foot switch, some lovely brown knobs which look like a smaller version of what one would expect to go with this, and we have some PCB mounting type potentiometers this time. We don't have to wire those together. That's kind of cool. To wire other things together though, right? Okay. Okay. So I don't know if they're going to call this what it's supposed to be called, and I probably can't call it what it was originally called because it's not that. It's just a reproduction or an interpretation. That's the best word for it. Because in electronics, it's crazy if you don't use the exact same germanium diode that was used in whatever. Okay, so this is all there is in instructions. No pictures. No pictures. Here's progress so far. Cut, grind, or file off the anti-rotation nubs on the potentiometers, or else they won't sit flush. Knobs will be at an angle. Yeah, I'm aware of that. Install LED bezel and power jack. Solder in op-amp sockets. Line up resistors, capacitors, do diodes, and then the leads for the foot switch. Oh boy. So this is less of directions than I usually get with these. And this is supposed to be a more difficult pedal to do. Or, I don't know if it's necessarily more difficult, but... Okay. So the things they wanted us to grind off don't appear to exist here. I don't know what they're talking about. That'll sit flush. Okay. Well, the board has values written all over it. There's three things on the out side here. That says out. That's plus and minus, so that would be power, right? Figure that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm assuming that's related to this right there. In is over here. Is this in or is that in? Which one is actually in? Well, that would be a potentiometer, so this would be in. Okay. And then which way do the pots mount? Is this the top of the board or is that the bottom of the board? Oh, okay. Okay. So I think I'm gonna look at the pictures to make sure we don't screw up royally anyway. But maybe the pots go on this side, face up like that, and then the board mounts down. That could work. There's one picture of a cap here. How would they draw the picture of the cap on this side? What is that even? Oh, that's the LED. Okay, so they want you to put the LED over there, on that side. So, if I put this in there like that. Okay, yeah, so that kind of makes sense. Alright, George, I think I'm going to get this. Okay. So, if that's our only instructions, woohoo. So I guess step 1 and 2, they want me to put the LED bezel and the power jack in place, so. Okay, we'll do that. We'll humor our friends here. You know how I am, I usually just go for resistors first, but this one has extremely detailed instructions. Yay, there's one part. I'm going to see, just for fun, what it's talking about when it's talking about the knobs, or the nubs on the potentiometer, because I've seen those before. I mean, I know what they are because I've had them on other potentiometers, and they do cause them to sit crooked, but I don't see that these actually have them, so let's just spin one out and see if it actually has it or not. See if that'll actually sit flush in the case or not, because it's very possible that, you know, they revised something. That looks straight to me, so okay. Alright, so anyway, step 1's done, or step 1 is inherently done. Install bezel and power jack. Okay, now they want me to solder the op amps. Recommend bending a pin to keep them seated, well, upside down for soldering. Well, yeah, I kind of figured that much. Let's dump this stuff out. So here's op amp jack number 1. That, I guess, is going to go here. And op amp jack number 2 goes over here. So they've drawn pretty good pictures. If this is kind of their flagship thing, I would assume that they've got the board written totally correctly, or they would have put notes all over the directions. So let's see if we can bending a pin here to make it easier to install. I don't know if that's going to be enough to hold it. No, not really. It's okay. We'll just do the tacking thing that I usually like to do. Okay, and then we'll double check that that actually is sitting flush on the board. Looks good to me. So we'll go back and do the second one. I'll be curious. I'm actually surprised that nobody on YouTube or anywhere else I've ever seen has actually attempted this particular stomp box. And I think I think Buddy wants this to be his flagship product. It's obviously modeled after, in both looks and I'm assuming circuit to a degree, a very, very famous stomp box with that Centaur on the front of it. That looks good too. So I'll go through and solder the rest of the pins here. Then I gotta find the second one. The light in here sucks. Okay, it's over here. Duh. Okay, and then we'll do a quick inspection and make sure everything looks really good. This is like an important flagship pedal. We should make sure it looks good and everything's good here. We gotta make it really good. Okay, so we did that. Then line up your resistors by value and solder them up. Okay, sounds good. So we'll line up our resistors by value. That's interesting. We have this big giant pocket that's almost all resistors. Oh, they gave me tiny, tiny resistors. These are like itty bitty little eighth waters. Let's find one of these clusters that has a lot in it. So, okay, this is 27K, so 27Ks. Let's see if I can find any of those. Okay, there's two of them right there. Do I see the third one anywhere? Well, let's take care of the two we see right now. See if these little shorties actually do fit down flush on a board, or if they're not going to. Inserting two resistors on the board at once apparently is a little bit more difficult than I had anticipated. And oh, good. So this hole this resistor is supposed to go through apparently got some solder in it while I was working with the op amps. Wonderful. Okay, desoldering iron time. Let me clean that hole out. How in the world did I even do that? How would I have done that? Well, apparently a little bit of something dripped over from here to there. But that's like perfectly flush. Yeah. Whatever. We'll heat up the desoldering iron, fix that. Let's find where the other 27 goes while I'm at it. So I've got two over here, and then one that's, where's the other one go? I think that says 22, not 27. 27 over here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Got it. I gotta see something. I gotta see if that is really solder plugging that hole, or it's just a hole that's not drilled. Nope, that's solder plugging the hole. Well, it doesn't look like it's plugged that bad, so let's see if I can cheat. Let's put the lead up on there. There. So I've already got the lead poking through on the other side. So maybe I can just warm it up and just keep on pushing. And it's just going to wrinkle up on me, of course, because these are little 1/8 watts and they're so narrow and whatever, so. Almost there, come on. You can see with how tight everything is. Trying to solder this with the potato that we like to solder with before would be a nightmare. Okay, so that one's all the way down and that looks cool. See, that's like flush, flush, flush. Cool. Alright, that'll work. So we cheated our way through that one. We'll still touch that up just a little bit, but that's fine. So I got to spare the desoldering iron, and I didn't have to stop the film. I'm sure you're just thrilled with this riveting content of watching some dope in his basement soldering things. These are tiny resistors, man. Tiny. That's okay. Go. Yeah, this other one, which of those two has solder on it? It's actually this one. Yeah, it's okay. It's close enough, but I'm sort of mildly irritated because of the way that that hop skips. It's not perfectly flush. So I'm just going to go bonkers here trying to perfect that up, and I'm going to probably break it off or do something terrible. It's so close. But our quest for perfection, we end up demolishing something. See, did that get it down? Did that do it? Did it? It's closer. Almost. Next thing you're going to hear is the censorship bleep as I curse because I blew something up. I'm going to guess that did it that time. Yeah, that did it that time. Now that accidentally pre-soldered hole is fixed. And we're good. Okay. So on to that other 27 that we found farther down the road. Where was that again? That was down here-ish. Yes, 27K. Okay. Okay, so there's 3 in. Now we got 3 more to go. I like to do them in 6s, right? So let's find another one with 3. I found a ton of them with 2. No, 2's good enough. 15K. Okay. 15K. Well, where's 15K? It's 1.5K. That's 1.5K. That's 1K8, I think. I see 12K, I see all kinds of values. Okay, there's 115K right there. There's one. So where's the other one? Yeah. Let's watch Yo-Yo look around on a board. I see a 12K, I see a 1.5, I see a 5. I don't see it yet. So, what we do have, we'll leave the 15K sticker on that so I don't lose track of what value it is. This is definitely 15K right here next to this one. Oh, duh. There, I just found it when I looked. So there's one. And then here's the other one, right up there. With how much fuss this is going to be, this thing better work perfect when we hook it up, right? This is, you know, this is an expensive kit. Well, for AliExpress standards it is. This one costs like double what all the other ones did. And this is 22K. Okay, so that'll be our 6th resistor, will be the 22K. Okay. And I swear I saw where that was earlier, and of course now, let's decide which direction we're going to look at the board in. It kind of reads this way, so 22K, there we go. I actually do like the symmetry of this board, it's kind of cool looking. Some of these resistors, man, they're just like, they're spaced just big enough to fit, so sometimes helping them with the tools is good. Come on, I'm helping you with the tools. Help yourself. Okay. So let's make sure all of those are still down and in position and aren't walking out of position, because last thing I'm going to want to do is to hit these with a soldering iron and then flip them over and see a bunch of them standing up looking at me going nah, 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 nah. Alright, tell you what we'll do is we'll solder one side. We'll solder one side, and then if we have to go back and push any of them back flush again, we will before we solder the other side. That sounds smart. Leads, man, they're getting in my way. Sorry, I'm not trying to put my head in the shot. Maybe I am. If I am, I apologize in advance. Okay. Did any of these sit up? Just this one. A minuscule amount. Not enough to make it worth fixing unless you're obsessive compulsive. Sitting up ever so slightly. Are we obsessive compulsive enough? Yes, we are. Okay. I'll press down on that. Watch us jump as our fingers go, yow! Right there. That's fixed. The rest of them are all sitting real good on there. I like the way all of the other ones are sitting, so I'll clip one half of the leads. I'm going to have to go talk to everybody because everybody just got home. You can hear them banging around upstairs, so I'll go talk to everybody in a minute. So, And this is the one that was actually soldered earlier. We'll just reheat it for double checking's sake. And then we have to solder the far side. So we'll solder the far sides, and then we'll shut the camera off and go on break. And then we'll come back and go work some more. By Georgia, I think it looks like we're making progress. So, we use the phrase by George. I wonder who George is actually originally in reference to. It's one of those common English sayings that we don't know what it is. It's probably UK English, so it's probably King George, I guess, or if it's US English, it'd be George Washington or something, I don't know. Anyway, stand by, coming back, doing more resistors. Actually, doing resistors is boring. How about we just come back and do more resistors and then turn the camera back on, because we did 6 of them, that's enough. If you don't know how to solder down resistors by this point, why am I here helping you? Okay, bye. Okay, so that takes care of all of the resistors. There's a lot of them. And I think we did a pretty good job of soldering this up, so that looks good. We're going to move on to capacitors. Looks like we have a lot of these kind, and that's fine. And then we have some electrolytics. So pretty much it's a matter of determining the right value and dropping it onto the board and soldering it. So we'll go work on that, and if there's anything interesting to tell, we will. Okay, so that should do the non-polarized caps. There's 3, 7, 11 of them. And it specifically says in the sheet here to not put them flush to the board so they have room to expand and contract with heat cycles. How's this thing going to get hot? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I left a little bit of gap on the board, which kind of makes things a smidgen off kilter, but it's close. So the OCD in me says you should have pushed them down all the way. But, yeah. Oh great! And I see I forgot something while I wasn't looking. There's a third IC that goes over here, and I forgot to put its socket down there. Oops. Well, we can do that now. Got some fancy writing on it. 13192 something AC something. Are these chips the same or are they different chips? Let's look. This should just be a regular op amp. Boy, that's hard to read. 76605 maybe? Let's see. To get out the bright light. Okay, that one's different. 67A66 something. TL072 something, okay. So okay, so these are the two sort of generic Texas Instruments ones. And this is the one with the specific thing. This one's supposed to be the... See if anything lines up on this.
Are you doing math or no?
676Q5. We'll figure it out. See you in a minute. Okay, so all the capacitors are in now. And it kind of helps if you keep them up a little bit off the board, because this big cluster over here kind of fits together tight. But there's 1 mics, 4.7 mics, and 47 mics. So yeah, these are the 47s, big boys. So we got those. Now I guess we move on to diodes, I think. What do they say? I just got through step 6, capacitors, so next finish up with diodes. The oddball is the 1V2 or 12 volt that goes to the first op amp. Goes next to the first op amp, so okay. Fair enough. That would be this one right there. Let's look at what our diodes are so we at least figure them out. Alright, these should be normal old 4001s. Yeah, they are. These are 4001s. Okay. And then there's this thing. That would probably be the one they refer to as the oddball, which would be like probably a 12 volt, it's a Zener. And then there's 2 that are the germanium diodes. Should be these 2, I think. That seems right, as far as I can tell. So, because I've got germanium diodes to go there, the 4001s go here, and then the 12V would be the Zener that goes here. Okay, so we'll do that and then we'll see in a minute. Okay, so I got all the diodes in. That's cool. So, 2 germaniums. I rode them up higher. I've heard those can be kind of sensitive to heat. And then we have the 4001 silicons over there, and then that Zener hiding in the corner. So the next step, it tells me to install the op amps, and the 7660 charge pump goes closest to the input. So that's the input because it says in right there. And this is the 7660. So this would be that one. So that one goes up here. And then the other 2 are just regular TI 1072s. Put this in there. I already got that one in. I'm going to put this one in over here. And then that should take care of our op amps, right? And we'll see what we move on to. Okay, so those are in, but that one's in backwards because it is. So let's pull that back out. When you goof, you can always fix it. Just don't, goof too bad. Okay. And the way that they mark this board, you can actually kind of see the polarity and stuff on the board, even though there's all this stuff clustered up there around it. So, okay, everything's oriented right. So next they want me to go to make the leads for the foot switch. Why do they not tell me to put the pots on? I don't see why it's not got me doing the pot shed. In fact, it doesn't. So it doesn't have me put the pots on at all. So I don't think I believe that. But if I put them on, then this is going to be at a funny angle. So let's see. So the numbered pads are 1, 2, 3 for the first side, and 4, 5, 6 for the other. And then you should connect with 1 at the same time 5 connects with 4. 2 should connect with 1 at the same time that 5 connects with 4. Okay, so that's just the orientation thing. Flip wires 4 and 6 if you want the LED to be on when the effect is off. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to put leads in these slots so we can hook up our foot switch. And I think they threw wire in the kit somewhere. I probably piled it up over here. So I've got some different colors. We'll just use all different colors. So we'll do We'll do red, black, white, and gray. That's those 4, and then I'll need a 5 and a 6. So, and these will all get trimmed. So I'll do orange and blue. That's cool. That's 6, and they're all different colors, so I won't mix them up. So I'm going to solder those in those holes. And if you're building it from their kit, you're probably only going to have 3 colors of wire as opposed to the extra ones that I did, but that's okay. It doesn't hurt anything. So let's see if this is going to mount up that way, so we'll have the leads coming out this way. Okay, get it done. Okay, so I'm looking at this, and there's obviously some missing pieces in the instructions here. There's a 9-volt in, which kind of corresponds with where the power jack goes, right? That makes sense. And then there's the input and output jacks over there. And it's telling me about like what lead lengths to use and stuff like that. I think I'm just going to stick some wires in those, and because the middle one's like not connected, or the middle one's, is that ground or what is that? I'm trying to figure it out, because the input jack is going to be these two. One of them goes to ground, right? That goes to ground, and that's the signal. But why are there 2 on the? Why are there 2? Or why are there 3 leads on the out? I'm gonna read that in a little bit, because we're gonna have to figure out the switching circuit to put in, you know, for the other. We'll have to do that manually. We did one manually when we did that watt pedal, so I can probably cheat with that or something else. These 2 are going to be for the LED coming from the other side. So what's this 3rd one on the out? The middle one's the ground. Why would that have 3 on the out? That would make sense that this one's an audio out. Oh, okay, this is a power one. This comes from the battery up to here. So that goes from the battery to there. So if that goes from the battery to there, that would probably go to the ring to... Was that coming off the negative or the positive of the battery? That's coming off the minus of the battery. So that would come up here to maybe complete the circuit for the ground to turn the pedal on. Put that on the out jack, I guess, instead of the in. I think that's what it is. We'll find out. Anyway, I'm going to put the pots on it and solder them up. And these are, they just kind of insert on the board, and you get all the pins lined up and push them in and then solder them in. So I don't think it's rocket surgery. Alright, see you in a few minutes. Okay, so we're getting closer. I got the pots on there. That turned out okay. And I'm trying to figure out what we got here. The input jack is straightforward. There's an audio signal that goes down here, and then the other one goes to ground. So that's fine. So red, black. Good. Over here on the output jack, we've got this one goes down to the battery area. So that would be ring. And then we got ground tip, so that should be signal, right? That makes sense. We're good there. And then when we look at the power jack, we've got this one comes off the positive lead. This one feeds op amp, and this one goes to ground. So this one, the middle one here, isn't connected to anything on the flip side. So this one should probably go to the switch within the power jack here, so that if there's nothing plugged into the jack, if this jack is open, then it will bridge the connection here and power this via the battery. But the circuit cannot have ground if the output jack isn't plugged in, because that connects to the output jack, and then when there's a signal in there, then the ring part of the output jack will be bridged to ground. Got it. I figured it out. Okay, So, when I'm thinking and I'm talking, I sound kind of dumb. I don't know why I feel like I sound dumb, but I do. I feel like I sound not too bright. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put leads on here for the in and the out and all that stuff, and then I'll drop the board in, and then we'll see, we'll tack the stuff in. And the last thing to do is the LED before we tack that in. So okay, we'll play a little bit more and I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, so I think I got all the leads covered. So we're going to stick it in the box. We're going to set the height of the LED, because the LED actually mounts right on the board. But you don't know what the height is until you get it in there to see how long the pots are. So let's take the LED. I really don't like how close those legs lie together. It's just a little unnerving. Granted, that's only, what, a volt or two? Not much. We gotta find the negative terminal. Or they marked it with the flat side, so let's look and see which one's the flat side. Can we tell? Can we tell by feel? Or by look? Or by anything? Yeah, this is the flat side. So the flat side should be the minus. So we're going to put that in there like that. And then I need to kind of like want to stick in there. We'll put this in here, and then we'll figure out, you know, get the LED in the hole and figure out how the height goes and snug the pots in there. And once we get that down, then we'll see. All these are like way too long to go to the switch. They're way too long right now, but that's okay. We can neaten them up in a few minutes. So yeah, I think we're coming along. Okay, we'll see you in a couple of minutes. Okay, so I put this in the box. That's cool. And the input jack, that's tip, that's ring. So that'll be red, black. And then the output jack, I don't have it tight. I can still roll it around. That's the ring. So the ring's going to go to this wire, which is directly connected to the battery. So we're going to shorten this wire up, connect it here, and then we'll roll this around and connect the tip and the ground for the output jack. And then we'll come back. Okay, so the input and output jacks are done. That came out pretty cool. This with the gray wire goes to the ring, which is connected to the negative of the battery. So wait a minute. Yeah, so it can't drain if the battery, or no, hold on. The ground has to go through the ground has to go to that. I know I did it right, just give me a minute. Okay, so I got it. And sometimes I forget how these power jacks are made, because they just do. But the positive from the battery would come up and go to this red wire, which goes to this thing, which is the switch plug, just like it is on the wah pedal. See, they run the battery up to there. This time there's a trace that runs up to there. So the ground is the pin, the middle pin, which is the big boy here, and then the third wire here that goes into was down the first pin of our op amp over there. That's okay. So we got that. Now we just have to do the foot switch. So we got to make sure it's slapping the right way, basically. So so it's got to be on pins 1, 2, 3 on one side and 4, 5, 6 on the other. So basically what we need to do is we need to make sure that it's switching, boom, this way, right? Yeah, it's got to go from middle pins to this one, or the middle pins to that one. So let's just make sure that it does that. Okay, so we got middle pins to that one. Okay, now we'll give it a click. And it should be these two and those two. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we got it oriented the right way. So pin count should be, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Seems pretty straightforward. I think that's right. I don't see why it wouldn't be right. Yay. Alright. Okay, so here's the finished thing. It's neat in there. I actually did a neat job for a change. It's really nice that I could actually, you know, mount those and then make the wire lengths right. But anyway, I don't know what it sounds like entirely yet, because I've just done the noise test like I did the other day with the Overdrive 2. Overdrive 2, we did OD2, yeah. So I've just done a noise test to verify that when I turn the gain knob, I get gain. When I turn the treble knob, I get more or less treble. And when I turn the output knob, I get more or less output or volume. So that's the only thing we've really tested on this. So, okay. So now I'm going to put the lid on it and